Since I've done this, or put the app together itself, I have heard so many horror stories. I mean, there was a guy in New Mexico. He went on an elk hunt down in New Mexico, and he paid the extra fee to have a mule. And what that is, they gave him a satellite phone and said, hey, if you shoot something, give us a call. We'll come out with the mule and load up all the meat, and we'll just hike it out. All you'll have to do is hike beside the mule.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, great. So he calls, he gets an elk. I think he said he's about 4 miles back. And he got the elk, called them with the satellite phone and said, hey, shot the elk. Can you guys head out? He goes, bad news for you, man. He goes, I've gotten 3 calls in the last 12 hours. He goes, I'm booked up for the next 48 hours, running out, grab another elk, bringing them back in. He goes, you're gonna have to figure it out. And this guy didn't train for it, didn't prepare for it, didn't do anything. So he's 4 miles back. And an elk, I mean, you're pulling some meat off.
Big.
When I pulled mine off, my pack alone was 90 to 100 pounds.
Well, you also got to remember, a lot of times when guys go on these hunts, or females, when anybody progresses to that level of a hunt.
All the peoples, yeah.
Whenever you progress to that type of hunt, you're thinking about when you were 20.
Yeah.
Not when you're a 45-year-old guy who sits at a desk for 8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult when, one of the things we always talk about, one of his clients did this, and this is kind of what sparked his interest a long time ago, where he went on this very expensive hunt and ended up almost having to be rescued out of it because of some issues.
But you want to go on an elk hunting trip in Colorado at 9,000 elevation.
Which is going to be tough anyways, right?
Right there, and then you have a pack weight of 35 pounds. You're expecting to trek 8 miles a day, hunting with a bow, doing this. So we ask a lot of variable type questions and find out where they need to get to. So based on these questions, it seems like you need to get to an 18, let's say. So you're a 3 and you're an 18. And I think a lot of the information out there nowadays kind of just throws do this, here you go.
This leads me to that question of what kind of athlete is this? Would this really work for?
I mean, I've built this, like I said, it's progressive based, so I built this to be for everyone, because we can't start you off lower, we can start you off mid-level. Hey, if you assess into the program and you're way up there as let's say a 14, 15, you can still use it because you step into that program where it needs to be stepped in at. And I don't think any programs out there really do that. Everything out there is, hey, do this, here's your workout for the day. They don't know if that's for you, if that's for her, for Miss Jones, Mr. Smith. It's just a workout.
Yeah.
So this one's actually designed for where you're at in your training program.
Yeah.
Gives you one exercise program. Well, with this program, it will actually build with you. So we'll start you off easy. There's nothing wrong with that. You need to start off the correct way. And then as you grow, depending on your time frame, it grows with you.
So it's periodized.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And based on their timeline.
So say your hunt's 10 months out. Okay, great. 10 months out, roughly 40 weeks. We need to move you, like we said, if you're a 3 going to an 18, you're 15 progression points that you need to move. Roughly every, let's say 2.25 weeks, you get a new set of workouts kicked out to you saying, okay, you've done number 3, great, let's progress you. If anytime you need to pause that because you don't feel like you were able to achieve what you needed to achieve, it's okay, we can hold you up there, let you work on that, and then progress you on through there.
And what's hard about a lot of these hunts, we talk about even regular hunting's difficult. My dad and I pheasant hunt, and that's hard. You walk 10 miles a day, even that's difficult, especially if you're carrying an extra 40 pounds. What was the stat you said about pounds on your knee?
For every, 1 pound you lose, it's 4 pounds of pressure off your knee.
Wow.
So, and it's not like you have to lose 100 pounds to feel better. You lose 10 pounds, and that's 40 pounds of pressure off of that joint.
Wow.
And then add a pack weight, and then add your gun, and then add, if you kill an animal, have to hike it back out. Almost having to be rescued out of it because of some issues.
I know some people.
Yes.
And so you're like, you just wasted $15,000 on a hunt.
Yeah.
And you didn't even get what you wanted out of it because you forgot the shape you need to be in to get there. So I think not just the periodization that he's built with it, but the ability for somebody to recognize the level they need to get to be successful at something they're going to drop money and time and energy and effort. When you're spending your vacation time and you drop money to go out to a hunt, you want to have that be an experience that you remember for a good reason, not because you almost died because you had to get life flighted out of a mountain because you couldn't hike out. So, well, and most people have the same issues. I mean, if we had to have 10 people come in and do an assessment, we can say, all right, you got bad hip flexors, you got bad hamstrings, you have rolled shoulders. Like, we can pick those out of 9 out of 10 people because that's what we do on a daily basis. We're very front dominant people.
Yeah.
And I bring this to my athletes all the time. Like, how many guys have you heard pull a quad? None.
Yeah.
Every athlete on the planet has pulled their hamstring.
Yeah.
It's weaker. It's not balanced. And now there's a big Achilles issue with guys in the NFL and baseball. There's a lot of Achilles issues, a lot of lower back issues. So posterior chain's way more applicable for our program. Every guy wants this. Every guy wants bench press and quads. Nobody wants to work on upper middle back postural deviations.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you don't want to talk to guys about how boring some of those corrective exercise parts are. But when you're carrying pack weight on your shoulders, like, that's an issue.
It's tough.
And when you're walking through grass this tall and you have to pick your legs past parallel, which we never pick our legs up, ever. Everybody comes in here, does elliptical and shifts,
Yep.
and then they scoot when they walk, and then when they sit, they're bent, so they're tightened, so you never go past parallel.
Yeah.
So doing just standard, like one of the exercises that we really push people are just step ups, learning how to pick your leg up and down. Like that.
Backcountry strength training is an app. I call it a progressive-based strength training app. So what it'll do is you assess into the program on a scale of 1 to 20. So say you're in terrible shape, haven't worked out for years, overweight, weak, everything like that. Called them with the satellite phone and said, hey, shot the elk. Can you guys head out? He goes, bad news for you, man. He goes, I've gotten 3 calls in the last 12 hours. He goes, I'm booked up for the next 48 hours, running out, grab another elk, bring them back in. So you're gonna have to figure it out. And this guy didn't train for it, didn't prepare for it, didn't do anything. So he's 4 miles back. And an elk, I mean, you're pulling some meat. It's
big.
When I pulled mine off, I think my pack alone was 90 to 100 pounds on top of what I carry myself.
Yeah.
And so this guy did it, and he said he almost dropped dead on the way back. He's like, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And he goes, going in ill-prepared, he goes, I was down for probably 7 or 8 days afterwards.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Just my body
Just
rejected
hurt.
everything I did.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't really think about how that, with that perspective.